Hello students, this is Professor Johnson. I'm going to make this video to kind of talk about Project 1. You'll notice that the page I'm actually opened to, when you get into Canvas and you open this page, there will actually be, this video that you're watching will be embedded here in addition to a few other things. There's going to be a video on finding research. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. You can watch the second video, and if you have questions, feel free to email me. I might mention a few things in this video. And then there's going to be a series of links, and some of these links I will actually go through in this video. So basically, Project 1 asks you to do a few things. Project 1, I think a useful way to start is to think about this idea. You are not going to be writing about this idea necessarily, but it is a useful sort of thought experiment. So the question that I would ask if we were in a class is, does information, does knowledge, does history change over time, right? And so we'd go back and forth, and maybe people say, no, history is just a list of dates, it's just facts. And then I would say, well, how do we determine what those facts are, right? Well, the people who are living get to determine that, right? So we might come to the conclusion that history, knowledge, information changes over time. And so that's a useful theory and philosophical approach to have in your head as you bring Project 1 up and start working on it. So what you need to do is you need to pick a topic. Most topics are at play here. I would suggest picking something you want to work on. It is the case that Project 1, 2, and 3 can actually all be sort of done on the same topic. You do not have to, though. You can jump ship and swap out projects. But I will say, I've designed the class so that if you stick with the same project topic for 1, 2, and 3, your life will kind of be a little easier, and the amount of back work you're going to have to do in addition to whatever else is going on will kind of be decreased. So you pick a topic. I'm going to use for samples and examples smoking, so don't write about smoking because that's just what I'm going to use, and I don't want to see it repeated. So basically what you do is you pick your topic, and then I'm giving you a date range. So the research you're going to do on that topic is roughly 20 years, so 2017 to 97. If you go a little bit outside of the 20-year span, that's okay. I'm not going to lose my mind over a few years here or there. But you will see why stick within that 20-year span will make sense. So what you're going to do with the first project is you're making an annotated bibliography. I have the description up right here. It's an annotated bibliography on a topic containing 6 entries. So you need to find 6 pieces of research on your topic. That's the general idea, right? 6 pieces of research on your topic. Okay, so you've got your topic. Well, let's say it was smoking. Now, why this 10 years, or why this 20-year frame? Why are we thinking this? Well, if we think about smoking and we say, I want to do research on is smoking healthy? Well, we settled that debate long ago, a lot longer than 20 years ago. But we still are having other interesting conversations about smoking. So let's take, for example, the issue of smoking on college campuses. We know that PHSC has recently gone smoke-free, USF recently went smoke-free, University of Tampa. So this is a popular trend around the country, and certainly in Florida especially. So we could do research on that, and it would be very interesting to just think about that research within the last 20 years. And then, basically, what you do, you make your annotated bibliography. So this is a very formal, very detail-specific process. The challenge with an annotated bibliography is not actually doing it. The challenge with an annotated bibliography is doing the research. Right? The annotated bibliography is not that hard to do, but doing research, reading things, finding things, this takes forever and can be very boring. So that's why you want to pick a topic you're actually interested in. So what you do is you go and find your research, and again, see the video that I'm posting below to talk about exactly how to do research, where to find it. You can do, for this project, I'll allow for some general research, so Googling, as long as you stick within some certain bounds and you're careful to make sure that your sources are credible. Or you can use the databases, and then you don't have to be as careful because you can just pretty much use anything in the databases. So you find your resources, you read them, then you have to start generating your annotated bibliography. For the first draft, your annotated bibliography will look similar to this document I'm about to pull up. Right here. So we got an annotated bibliography. Yours will look a little different. Yours will have an additional paragraph right here That paragraph will introduce me to your topic. What's your topic? Why are you writing about it? Why do you care? Right? The introduction can really say kind of whatever you want at this point for the draft. Then you have a citation. Then you have a paragraph. The paragraph summarizes and assesses your source. All right. So let's say you go out there and you find a great article in the databases on smoking on college campuses. Read your source, think about it, make a MLA citation for that source, then make a paragraph that summarizes and assesses what the point of that was, what the value of that source was, if you're noticing patterns between them. And then your draft consists of this for one source, and then this again for a second source. So I think of these things as a sequence, right? The citation and a paragraph, that's one sequence for me. So you go for the draft, you find two sources, and ultimately what you're doing is two sequences. Citation and paragraph. Citation, paragraph. With an additional paragraph to open the paper that is just an introduction to what your topic is. So that really simply is what the draft is going to be. Right? It is not a long, coherent essay. It's... I'm opening up with the draft here. This draft will include introductory paragraph and two additional bibliographic entries. I'm not sure why it says total of 4. Let me delete that because that's confusing. Yeah, so that's really it, right? You got your MLA headed paper. Hooray, you got your heading up here, a title of some sort, an introduction paragraph, citation in MLA, then a paragraph that assesses and summarizes your source. Citation in MLA, then another paragraph that assesses and summarizes a second source. That's really it for the draft. The final product of the annotated bibliography is just going through this sequence a total of 6 times. So for every source, you generate a citation and a paragraph. You do that 6 times, you've got your whole annotated bibliography done. So if you're thinking about the length of this, it might appear kind of long, right? Because sometimes these paragraphs have to be a little more dense. But with the paragraphs, do try to stick to 5 to 7 sentences. Part of the skill of doing an annotated bibliography is deciding what actually needs to go into your summary and what needs to go into your assessment part of the paragraph. Again, if it's a little over 5 to 7 sentences, I'm not going to be too concerned, but you don't want your summary and assessment paragraph to be 3 pages. Now, this is a skill, and it takes work because the sources you're going to find could be really long. Right? If you find really formal, good research through the databases, it could be the case that you find a 20-page article. Writing a one-page or a one-paragraph summary and assessment about 20 pages, that's a skill. It takes some work. So that's really where the challenge is here. Also with getting the MLA citation correct. If you're struggling with that, you will note that the book has a big section on MLA in it and how to make citations. In addition to that, I have some websites that I'm going to link that will help you. Right? So the OWL at Purdue, the online writing lab, is a very useful site for a lot of things, but this has how to make works cited, how to make MLA citations. And then also PHSC has a very useful tool that we've designed to help with this process too, how to make MLA formatted citations. So that's really Project 1. That's Project 1, Draft 1 especially. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this kind of clears things up. As far as topics, again, you can really pick whatever you want. I'm a person who's interested in horror movies, so I might do a paper on how can horror movies advance social justice causes, or can they? Maybe that's my research question that I use to bring to this. Or are horror movies racist? I also really like heavy metal, so maybe I want to write about what does heavy metal have to say about gender? Right? What does heavy metal have to say about race? I don't know, something like this. You can do very local things. We're over here, I'm over at Dade City East Campus, and right next door is this sort of strange park called Wild Things, and I had a student one semester who wrote pretty much everything in class on that place. She was a major advocate against Wild Things, but she did a good job, and the reason she did a good job was because she actually cared about the topic. She spent a lot of her time volunteering and organizing city council meetings and county commissions, dealing with the legality or illegality of wild things. And so she cared. So the stakes mattered, and she was willing to do a lot of research. And that helped her. And it was the case that she did a good job, and she liked writing her essays, or at least she found value in doing the research because it was a topic she was actually dealing with in her life. So these are some ideas. Let me know if you have questions. Good luck, and the due date is on the 5th. I'll give you feedback, and we'll go from there.